Okay. Roll call, please, Margaret.
Did you want to call the meeting to order?
Yes, ma'am, I do. And while we're at it, let me go down the list. Should be Dr. Bush on here, myself, Jim Streetman, Teresa Stevenson, Liz Estrada, Jimmy Sandoval, Tom Sidwell, Natalie Gillards, Jim Morgan, Dr. Hazel Roundtree, Josh McVeigh, Millen Razik, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Mary Beth Bush, Dr. Marie Haas, Margaret Ragland, and Larry Wickham. And I hope I didn't leave anybody out. That being said, roll call, please.
Okay. Miss Teresa Stevenson. You're muted. There you
Here.
go. Mr. Tom Sidwell.
Here.
Mr. Jimmy Sandoval.
Here.
Mr. James Streetman.
Here.
Miss Liz Estrada.
Here.
All present.
Okay, approval of the agenda. Was there any additions, corrections on this agenda, or can we just breeze through this thing? Okay, if there's no additions or corrections, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Liz Estrada, so move.
In a second.
Jimmy, second.
Roll call.
Miss Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell.
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval.
Yes.
Miss Estrada.
Yes.
Mr. Streetman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Do we have any comments from the public on this, on items on this agenda?
According to Mr. Larry Wickham, no, there are no public comments at this time.
Okay. I guess at this point we need to go into executive session for limited personnel matters. In other words, all the things that are listed here. So do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Teresa Stevenson, so moved.
Okay, in a second.
To go into executive session.
Mr. Sidwell. Okay. All right. Miss Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval.
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell.
Yes.
Mr. Streetman.
Yes.
Miss Estrada.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. At that point in time, Dr. Bush, who all do we want to keep on here with us?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask Ms. Ragland and Mr. Rasick to stay with us for just a few minutes, please.
Okay. I would, can we add Natalie to that too, please?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So the board members, Natalie, Dr. Bush, and
Ms. Ragland and Mr. Rasick.
okay. Yeah, Margaret and Mr. Racing. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Dr. Roundtree, do you have snow?
You're muted, ma'am.
She's in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah,
so
you're muted. Dr. Roundtree, you're muted.
Okay. I was saying we don't have any snow, but a lot of rain. We had a few days of 50 and better so I could get outside and walk a little bit.
Yeah. Margaret came
I look forward to coming home.
They showed a kid jumping off a porch. I can't remember what state it was in just last night, I think on TV. He jumped off his porch into the snow and he disappeared. He was about 4.5, 5 foot tall and he was gone. You couldn't even see the top of his head. So somebody had a bunch of snow someplace.
Dr. Bush, if you want Mr. Rasick in, can you Text him. I don't have his number.
Yeah, I've got it. Hang on. I also see I need to yell to the bedroom because she's not on either. Which is a point too for the board to understand. When I'm on board meetings with you, my other half is in another room, so she's not privy to anything to the executive session.
I'm not sure who all we got on here. We got 2 dial-ups on here. So one of them is Tom and one of them is...
Should be
The
3.
other one is Josh McVeigh.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Josh.
Josh
Yes,
McVeigh.
sir. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
You want to log back in, please?
There's Natalie. Is Mr.
Yes.
Morgan coming back in?
Are we ready?
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. Just go ahead and call back in. All right. Bye-bye.
Is Jim Morgan coming in?
I just called him.
There he
Oh,
is.
there he is.
Okay, I think we got everybody here now, I think. Ms. Bush is yet to come in. Larry, you're getting the streaming up and running, I guess?
Yes, sir. The small talk was perfect. Everything's up and running.
Okay. Everything is up and running. I think we need a motion to reconvene from executive session.
Teresa Stevenson, so moved.
Okay, and a second, please.
Second.
Second
Jimmy.
by Jimmy. Okay, Margaret, roll call. Margaret, you're muted.
So sorry. Mr. Streetman,
Yes.
Mrs. Strada,
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Mr. Okay. Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
motion carried to reconvene.
Okay. We have no action to be taken based on the executive session. Next item on the agenda is appointments to serve on the foundation board. With the board's approval, I would like to appoint myself and Tom Sidwell to serve on the foundation. Since Liz's last day on the foundation will actually be tomorrow. Tom's and my reappointment will be effective January the 1st, and these will serve for a year. We have to reappoint every year. So do I have a motion? Likewise.
Liz Estrada, so move.
Okay. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Estrada,
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Mr. Streetman,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
and motion carried.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is a new board policy. This has to deal with COVID. Basically, call it the COVID policy if you want, but it's Section 18 of the Mesa Lands Community College Safe and Health Campus Policy and Policy Title. So, do you have anything you want to add to that, Dr. Bush?
No, sir. That's actually two pieces of documentation there. You just broke it off there.
Yes.
Policy title 18.1 COVID vaccination is the second one. The first one is Section 18 Mesa Lands Community College Safe and Healthy Campus Policy. That's all. There's 2 parts.
2 parts, correction. Do I have a motion?
I do.
Which one?
Sorry, who was first?
Jimmy can have second.
Okay. Jimmy
Okay.
made the motion. Teresa seconded.
Okay.
Roll call.
Mr. Sidwell,
Okay.
Ms.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote no, but I want to qualify my vote. I'm in favor of safe campus. I'm in favor of adding section 18, but I am not in favor of government enforced mandates of any kind. So I have to vote no.
Okay, Margaret.
Ms. Estrada,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Mr. Streetman,
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
and the motion carried with the majority rule.
Next, we have a purchase requisition, Exhibit 13. Dr. Bush, you want to highlight us on that?
Yes, sir. I believe this purchase requisition number Exhibit 3, I believe, sir, isn't it?
Yes.
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 Let me defer this actually over to Mr. Morgan. I am familiar with it and support it entirely, but he can give you very thorough details on it.
This fee is to transport a wind turbine hub from Inco, Oklahoma, over to the campus. As you know, a wind turbine hub plus all of the frames that come with it is about 20 tons. So it's not like you can take your pickup and go pick up the load. This will be picked up on the 4th between 1 and 2 in the afternoon by Crane Services out of Amarillo. They are the same people who picked up and delivered the nacelle into the shop. At the current time, I probably will just have that dropped into the shop, pending arrangement for some way to pick it up and hold it so we can mount it to the turbine. I've not arranged for that part yet. I wasn't even sure we were going to be able to meet the time requirement of this vendor. He's having his contractor come back to this site to accommodate this move. We were supposed to get it done before the 3rd, and we didn't. So we're very lucky that his contractor agreed to come back and do that. Very fortunate, and I thanked him for going out on a limb and getting that guy back.
Any questions? Okay, if there's no questions, do we have a motion to approve the purchase of this the transportation of this wind turbine hub?
I so move.
In a second.
Les Estrada, second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Streetman,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Ms. Estrada,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
and the motion carried.
Okay. Next, we're going to move on to purchase requisition. It's Exhibit 4. It's purchase requisition 115104. That being said, at this point in time, we feel like that this needs to be tabled. And by tabling it, we're going to table 115097, 115098, and 115104. All three of these documents at this point in time. Now, do I have a motion to table these purchase requisitions?
So move.
In a second.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
Mr. Streetman,
Yes.
Ms. Estrada,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
and Mr. Sidwell.
Yes.
And motion carried to table all three requisitions.
Okay, a little clarification on that. This needs to go back to the esports committee, mind you, to be reevaluated and to formulate and set up a plan that will also include the funding. This has got to include everybody. We can't just haphazardly do this. And I have to tell you, the numbers just don't add up. I've looked at it every which way, and they don't come up. To me and to the rest of the board, they don't come up right. And because of that, we're just going to have to put it where it is. Okay, that being said, we'll move on to the compensation equity for the second half of 2021-2022 academic year. Dr. Bush, that's back in your court, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After an exhaustive fall semester working, I want to give kudos out to the Faculty Senate President, Joel Kaiser, and the staff Senate President, Kim Enriquez. We worked closely along with the executive staff. We've worked at using a number of models for compensation, looking at the compensation of all of our employees, not just faculty or staff, but all employees. Faculty and staff. We discovered that many of our employees were being underpaid. When that was taken then to comparisons to peer institutions, we were able to bring that into clearer focus. From there, it gave us an indication of what we needed from the board in order to bring our faculty and staff up to the median or mean salary. I'm not talking about going to the top. This is only bringing them up to the mean salary, as well as I have asked the board to approve longevity pay for our long-serving employees so that they do get a 2% compounded annually longevity pay to that, as well as the potential for success points if they earn those at the end of the year. So this would be a way in which we can bring our faculty up. This has also been incorporated into the model of the redesign of the college, which allows us to use supplemental contracts versus hiring full-time people. And I just want to go on the record as saying to you, sir, that in this process of bringing our compensation equity into play, which is what I promised you in May I would have done by the end of the semester, we are able to not only bring all of our employees up to scale, but we are in the process, we also saved about $500,000 in doing so. So my question for my request to the board is I ask for your approval to move forward with the second half of the fiscal year, starting in January through June 30th, to equalize and bring equity to their pay. And secondly, when we begin the budgetary process in the spring, we will do so using the more up-to-date formulary.
Do we have a motion, folks?
And this is Tom. I make a motion that we approve.
Okay.
Second.
Do we have a second? Okay, and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
Mr. Streetman,
Yes.
Ms. Estrada,
Yes.
and Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
and the motion carried.
Okay,
Mr.
next
Chairman,
item on the-
I would just interrupt you a moment, sir, if I may. I apologize for that. But I just want to take a second to thank the board on behalf of all the employees. And to be clear, too, that these pay equity did not include the president or any of the executive staff. Their salaries were not affected. This is all other employees. So on behalf of the faculty and the staff, I want to thank the board for your support.
Thanks, sir. Okay, next item on the agenda. The agenda says it's a CLA contract. It's not. It's a CLA letter of engagement. Dr. Bush, you want to highlight that slightly?
Yes, sir. The CLA is the organization in which we are working with to locate a new CFO, business service manager. We're not exactly what the title is going to ultimately land on, but they are doing a national search for us. What we're asking from you tonight is not a requisition or a bill per se. What I'm asking you for is for permission to go ahead and sign the letter of engagement, which will get them started. This will ultimately, in the process of this, they will ultimately come back to us and let us know what the salary needs to be. And they are compensated based upon a percentage of the salary of that position. So that's why I don't have a dollar amount for you tonight. We won't know that until they get farther into the process and are able to discern what the cost should be.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the signing of the letter of engagement?
Teresa Stevenson, so moved.
In a second, please.
Liz Estrada, second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Estrada,
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
Mr. Streetman,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
and Ms. Stevenson.
Yes.
And motion carried.
Okay. Announcements. Next meeting will be Tuesday, January the 4th. Wait a minute, 5:30 p.m. Is that correct, Margaret? I thought you had her at 4 o'clock.
I'm so sorry. Yes, the swearing in is at 4, and then that meeting would follow. I'm so sorry. It
That's
is
right.
at 4.
Yeah, it'll be between 4 and 5 o'clock, and
Yes, sir.
it'll be a swearing in, and then we'll have to reorganize the board because of certain ones of us that sit in positions where we have to sign things.
Yes, sir.
And we'll need to get that cleared up at that meeting, and then we can go on from there. It'll be a very short meeting. Shouldn't be much more involved in that, unless Dr. Bush wants to add something else to it. But you've got 72 hours in advance to get it done, so you don't have much time left.
No, you don't.
Okay, very good. That being said, I got a little statement here I want to read. We spent a lot of time and effort in the search for a new president. Ultimately, we came to the ultimate decision to hire Dr. Greg Bush. Dr. Bush has the total support of this board, and I want that in our minutes, and I want that stated right now because everybody needs to know that. The people on the campus need to know that. He has our total support. That being said, unless somebody else has something, Liz, you got anything?
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to interrupt you again.
Go ahead.
And I want to say something, and I think that it's apropos for us to take a moment and thank Ms. Estrada for her many years of service to this board. I haven't got the biggest clue how many years she was on the board, but I know that every document I run across has her name on it. So I just simply want to say before we close out this meeting at the end of this year, that it's been my pleasure to serve as your president, Ms. Estrada. And I think, speaking on behalf of Mesa Lands Community College, employees, faculty, and staff, I just simply want to take a moment to thank you for your service on this board. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
You beat me to it. But anyway, back to this, and since you hit it off, and I'm going to say the same thing. Yes, Liz first came to us. She served on the foundation for many, many years before she stepped over and became a member of the board of trustees. It has been a absolute pleasure to work with this lady. She was in on the foundation early enough that she understood how the foundation was supposed to work. She understood what some of the legal requirements were for the STEM grant, the Title V, and different things. These are all things that we've had to really be very careful about and watchful for all these years. But no, Liz, it has been an absolute pleasure. But back to you. Do you have anything else you'd like to add, ma'am?
Well, I'd just like to say it's been an honor to be associated with the college, approximately 20 years. And I just wish you all the best of luck and continued success for many years.
Thank you. Teresa?
I'm going to miss Liz, and I want to give just wish everyone a happy new year.
Dr. Bush?
You want Mr. Sandoval next? He's on the board.
Well, I'm going right down the line right here. Dr. Bush, you're the next one up on my screen.
I think I've spoken enough for the evening. I just want to thank the board for their actions and for what you've done with me over the last 6 months of 2021. And I look very anxiously for 2022. And we've got great things happening at Mesa Lands.
Okay. No disrespect to anybody. I'm going right down the line as they're on the screen. I believe that's Tom in the next slot.
I don't have anything to say, but I want to say thank you, Liz, and Happy New Year to everybody. It's going to be a good one next year.
Let's hope so. Yes. Jimmy.
Oh, you be safe and have a good, nice New Year's, and you too, Liz. Take care of yourselves.
Thank you.
Larry.
Just thank you, Mrs. Starlin, for all your service to the college. You will be missed. And Happy New Year, everyone.
Margaret.
Just Happy New Year to everyone. And I agree. I think it's going to be a great year.
Okay. I believe that's Josh. Is that not
Yes,
correct?
I just want to echo everyone's what everyone else has said as well. Mrs. Strada, thank you so much for your leadership. And I'm looking forward to a new year as well.
Okay. Dr. Roundtree. You're muted, ma'am.
There it is. Thank you so very much. I think I have 2 programs up. So thank you, Mrs. Strada, for serving. It was a pleasure getting to know you, and Happy New Year to everyone. Be safe and healthy and happy.
Thank you. Natalie.
Yes, I'd also like to say thank you, Mrs. Strada, for your 20 years of service to the college, and Happy New Year to everyone.
Jim Morgan.
Yeah, Liz, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. And Happy New Year to everybody. Have a good and safe New Year. Drive safe.
Okay, I've got a dial up here. I'm not sure. Is that Millen possibly?
I'd say so, sir.
You got anything you want to add, Millen? No, I guess not. Ms. Bush, you got anything you want to add?
I do. I just want to say, Mrs. Strada, in a short time you've been here, I know that Dr. Bush has really appreciated the support of all the board members. And I know that especially your support has been wonderful, and he will miss you very much as he transitions to a new group. And I want to wish everybody a happy new year and hopefully a much healthier new year than we've had in the past.
Okay, I'd like to reemphasize that. Happy New Year to everybody. Liz, you're going to be missed. I'm telling you that right now. You're going to be missed. But again, Happy New Year. If there's not anything else, we'll show this meeting adjourned at 6:59 p.m. on 12/30. Next meeting will be next Tuesday.